Now these cookies are fantastic because they're made with 5 ingredients that are minimally processed, high in fiber, but loaded with amazing, delicious flavor to create these beautiful, glorious, no-guilt Elvis cookies. So you start by taking one very ripe banana, put it into a mixing bowl, and mash it with a fork. And this recipe is actually easy enough for your kids to help make them after school. It's kind of a nice, healthier, sweet little treat to have in the afternoon, or the morning, or in the evening, or for breakfast. All right, doesn't need to be perfectly smooth. There's still a little bit of banana clump in there. That's perfectly fine. Next ingredient, of course, if they're Elvis inspired, we start with our banana. Next, we need peanut butter. We need 1 rounded tablespoon of creamy peanut butter. I suppose chunky peanut butter would work as well. Next, a half a cup of rolled old-fashioned oats. 1/3 cup either chocolate chips or chocolate chunks. Next, 1 tablespoon of pure maple syrup. You don't want to get that stuff labeled pancake syrup. If you see that, flip it over, look at the ingredients. If it has anything in addition to pure maple syrup, then you don't want it. And then one last optional ingredient would be a pinch of salt. That technically makes it 6 ingredients, but it's up to you. You can leave it out. All right. Oh, just look at this. The chocolate chips, that oatmeal, you see the banana and the peanut butter in there, and maple syrup. You can use that same fork that you used to mash the banana just to give it a nice stir. No baking soda, no baking powder, no flour. That's it. Those are all the ingredients in these cookies. What's also nice about these is that it only makes 6. So you won't have a bunch of cookies laying around tempting you every single day. These 6 cookies are gonna vanish pretty quickly. Grab our baking sheet, and we just create 6 little mounds. I always line my baking sheets with parchment paper. It makes cleanup super easy. Let's perfect the shape of these a little bit, push them together. You wanna make sure they're all about the same size. They're ready to go in the oven. You wanna bake them for about 10 minutes in a preheated oven, 350 degrees. And now, all we have to do is wait 10 minutes. All right, 10 minutes is up. Let's grab those cookies. Oh boy, so glorious looking. I love all of that chocolate and all the texture from the oatmeal. These are gonna be so good. All right, transfer these cookies over to our cooling rack. They smell so good. You can smell that peanut butter, you can smell the chocolate. Now the only thing left to do is try them. Look at that, it holds together so beautifully. No flour, no baking soda, no egg. So pretty. Ooh, steamy hot, chocolatey deliciousness. Dive right in. I know it's still really warm, but I can't help it. All right, so you start with 2 little containers of raspberry sorbet. You want these to soften for about 30 minutes or so on the counter, but if you go to the grocery store and you come home and you're ready to make this pie right away, most likely it's soft enough by the time you get home to go ahead and get started. The next step is we want to start working on our crust. All right, so we take 24 sandwich cookies. Now we all know the classic Oreos, those are great, but if you need to go gluten-free, thankfully there are gluten-free versions out there. You just have to look in the gluten-free section of your grocery store. Those in our food processor. Alternatively, if you don't have a food processor or if you don't want to use one, you can also use a plastic storage bag just like this. Put those sandwich cookies in here, close it almost entirely, but you want to leave a little bit of room for air. Otherwise, you could totally explode your bag when you start pounding away to smash those cookies. Next, we're going to take 3 tablespoons of non-dairy butter and stick it in the microwave along with 1 tablespoon of either almond butter or cashew butter. While we're waiting for our butters to melt, let's head over to our food processor. We want this mostly ground up. It doesn't need to be completely sand-like. There's still little bits of chocolate cookie chunks in there. That's okay. All right, looking pretty good. Now that our butters are melted, we will add those as well. All right, that looks great. Next, we take our pie pan. This is going straight in. Now it's time to get our hands dirty. Just Squish this up along the sides. Oh, it smells so good. That looks pretty good. You just want it in there pretty firmly. That looks great. Now we can jump right into this. There's no need to bake the crust. There's no other prep needed. We just start filling it right away with our softened sorbet. Now this is what you want to make sure you're able to do before you go any further. As long as you can stir it just like this, that means that it's soft enough for the pie crust. So very gently start pushing it out towards the sides. The last thing you want to do is lift up any of that crust. Now we do need to let this chill for about 3 hours before we do our final step. So let's stick this into our freezer. While you're waiting for your pie to chill, now would be a great time to start on the last thing, which is the topping, our coconut whipped cream. I like to chill a bowl ahead of time. You also need 2 cans of chilled coconut milk. So this is the type of coconut milk that you would find in the baking aisle. So we chill this usually overnight, at least 8 hours. And what happens is the cream separates from the liquid part. All you want is this thick cream part that will be sitting right on top. You want to be really careful not to get too much of that liquid that's in the bottom, otherwise it could affect the texture of your whipped cream. I did already do a video on how to make coconut whipped cream, so if you want more detailed information on how to do it, you can refer to that. All right, before adding anything else, we're going to give this a good whip. So you just need to whip this for about 30 seconds or until most of the clumps are nice and smooth. Okay, and next we add our powdered sugar. 2/3 cup plus 2 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Mix it up again. Whip this up for about a minute or so on high. Scrape down the sides, get all that powdered sugar, and then give it another good whip. That looks amazing. It hasn't been quite 3 hours yet, but thankfully, I thought ahead and I have one pie that's been chilling overnight and is ready to go. Ta-da! So pretty. And one of our last steps is adding that coconut whipped cream right to the top. Right down into the center. Spread it out towards the edges, just like this. So you can have about 1 inch of raspberry sorbet showing all the way around. And it is actually good enough to serve just like this, but I like to finish it off with some mini chocolate chips, because mini chocolate chips are always a good idea, right? Now all there is left to do is eat it. Look at that. So pretty, right? And then if you really want to make it super special for your friends and family, you can garnish the plate with just a few more mini chocolate chips. We certainly love our chocolate chunk cookies in this house, myself included. If you're anything like us, I'm sure you want a really great tasting cookie, but ideally made with ingredients you can feel good about, right? So I'm gonna show you how you can have amazing chocolate chunk cookies in your home too, that you can feel really great about serving your family. The bonus, they are non-GMO, they are gluten-free, and they're completely vegan. All right, you ready? Okay. It's Peanuts Bake Shop Chocolate Chunk Cookie Kits, which is actually a product that I've come up with. I came up with this because I'm a nutrition specialist who also loves to bake. I wanted to show people that you can have treats and still live a very healthy lifestyle, just so long as you have those treats in moderation and you focus on the quality of the ingredients as much as you can. In these chocolate chunk cookie kits, you will find quality ingredients such as oat flour, garbanzo bean flour, and omega-3 rich ground flax seeds. This is one of the most decadent, ooey gooey chocolate chunk cookies you will ever have. So yes, I'm doing my own commercial today. I couldn't help it. I have to spread the word because I'm really, really proud of these cookie kits. And I think everybody should be able to enjoy these, especially those who have intolerances for gluten and dairy. Here's a cookie that you can feel good about. These cookies are so easy to make. All you add is some water and some oil. I often get asked, what type of oil do you use? I use canola oil because it's a nice neutral flavor, but if you do canola oil, you want to make sure you get organic to avoid those GMOs. If you want to avoid oil altogether, you definitely can. You can do that by adding some applesauce instead. The cookies will still turn out amazingly. They'll just be a little bit softer and more cake-like than the oil versions. Oh, there's the timer. That means the cookies should be done. Let's take a peek. Oh yeah, those are perfect. Yum. big, puffy, delicious chocolate chunk cookies made with ingredients that you can feel good about. If they start to fall apart when you take them off the tray, just leave them on the tray for about 2 minutes so that they can harden a little bit and they'll transfer over much easier. I always bake my cookies on parchment paper. It makes it a lot easier to remove them from the tray. It also makes cleanup a lot easier too. Now, it's better to slightly undercook the cookies rather than overcook them. That way, after they cool, they're still very, very soft in the center rather than super crunchy. Unless you like crunchy, you can do that too. Delicious, magnificent, amazing chocolate chunk cookies that you will ever have. You will never know that they are vegan and gluten-free and non-GMO. They're so perfect. Ooey gooey chocolate goodness. Now there are definitely a million recipes out there for mug cakes, and a lot of them are really, really decadent and involve a lot of really creamy, heavy fat ingredients. This one's a little bit different. It still involves a lot of delicious stuff that's all gonna come together beautifully, but with just a little less guilt, I guess you could say. Okay, let's get started. First, we start with some ground flaxseed. Not the most exotic or delicious sounding ingredient, but this is gonna be our egg replacer, so it's very important. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to each one. Divide that up between those three. We're gonna just let that sit and do its thing. Next, we're gonna start with our mugs. You just wanna choose a mug that will work well in the microwave. That's all you need. For me personally, I like brightly colored happy mugs as you see here. I'm gonna start with our dry ingredients. Our first ingredient is garbanzo bean flour. This flour is amazing. It is nice and high in protein and fiber. I use it in a lot of recipes these days. Just 3 tablespoons in each mug. Making a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. Next, we're gonna use some coconut sugar. Coconut sugar resembles brown sugar a lot as far as flavor profile. I like it quite a bit. It's got a nice rich flavor. But if you wanna go totally sugar-free, you can also use monk fruit. When it comes to those monk fruit packets, you need about 3 packets for each mug. Of course, you'll be able to find the full recipe on audreydunham.com. Also on audreydunham.com, you'll be able to find the brands that I use and the ones that I prefer in my recipes. Lastly, some cocoa powder, just 1 tablespoon each. There we go. Some baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon in each mug, and some salt just to help round out the flavors just a little bit. Not much at all, about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And then also with these dry ingredients, we'll add some of our chocolate chips and just do a tablespoon into each one for now. We will be using more chocolate chips later, I should say. Look at how pretty that's looking already. Isn't that nice? It's resembling a little cake mix, right? Just getting those dry ingredients mixed together before we add our couple of wet ingredients. We want to make sure that baking soda and salt is evenly distributed throughout the mix. All right, and then we just have a few wet ingredients and then we're good to go. Some vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon into each one. Just adds a little extra richness to the flavor. You do 3 tablespoons of your favorite non-dairy milk. I usually use cashew, sometimes almond. Finally, we have some almond butter, just 1 tablespoon into each one. This is the fat that we need to give that cake that richness. Except this fat is much better than oil because it offers some nutritional value. It has some fiber, some protein, some vitamins and minerals. Much better option here than just straight oil, that's for sure. And finally, we add that ground flaxseed mixture to each one, just like this. Just about 30 seconds of stirring. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one started. Just 90 seconds in the microwave. Okay, the first one is ready to go. I have my little son Jack right next to the microwave there. I don't know how that got there, but it's so cute. I'm not removing it anytime soon. We have piping hot, delicious, steamy chocolate cake here. The last step is just to add 1 more tablespoon of chocolate chips. You know what? Sometimes I do a little more than a tablespoon, but don't tell anyone. Now today I'm going to be showing you how to make FUNFETTI chocolate chunk cookies using the Peanuts Bake Shop cookie kit. Really, truly one of the best chocolate chunk cookies I've ever had. Now to make these FUNFETTI chocolate chunk cookies, you start by opening up your cookie kit and placing the cookie mix into a mixing bowl. You do want to start preheating your oven right away to 350 degrees, which I've already done. All we need is a 1/4 cup of oil. I really worked with this recipe so that it called for the lowest amount of oil possible. And then the only other thing that you add besides the oil is some water. Start with about 2 tablespoons, give that a mix. And if the dough seems too dry, then you can add in another teaspoon or so of water. I've found that people tend to measure liquids differently, so we start with a nice low amount of water and just add little bits as necessary. All right, when you're done stirring, you want your cookie dough to look like this, where it is not too sticky. You can pick it up, You can also form it into a ball. Now we add the funfetti part. Now believe it or not all sprinkles are vegan. Google it, you will be blown away. I have found a really great brand that is vegan, and I will share that link below. Stir in those beautiful rainbow sprinkles. Look at that, gorgeous, right? I mean, funfetti, everything is fun, don't you think? Now all we need to do is to form our cookie dough balls and get these babies in the oven. Grab a baking sheet. I always line my baking sheets with parchment papers. I mean, honestly, any non-stick sheet will work. But this makes the cleanup a lot easier and it ensures those cookies don't stick. Now each cookie kit makes about 12 regular size cookies, but you can always make your dough balls smaller or larger depending on what kind of cookie size you want. Look at that, that looks fun. Almost looks like a donut hole, right? And the great thing about vegan cookie dough, you can eat it and not worried about getting salmonella, right? A couple extra sprinkles at the bottom of the bowl. I'm gonna push those right onto the tops of the cookies. These little babies are going in the oven for 13 to 14 minutes, but start checking on them around the 12-minute mark. It's better to slightly undercook them than overcook them. You honestly just want the edges to barely start to turn a light brown color. I baked some earlier today so you can see how they turn out. Look at those glorious funfetti chocolate chunk cookies. Now normally, right when they come out of the oven, you need to make a big decision. Do these cookies need more sprinkles? If the answer is yes, just add a few to the surface while they're still warm. These are amazingly vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, but you would never know it. All right, I can't wait any longer. I'm gonna try one out right now. Look at all the sprinkles on that. Isn't that gorgeous? Nice and soft, delicious. If you would like to try out these cookies, you can easily order your kit at peanutsbakeshop.com, and they are almost always available at my husband Jeff Dunham's merchandise stands at his live shows. If you decide to try these funfetti cookies, please let me know what you think in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. And for your convenience, I will also provide the link for Peanuts Bake Shop below. And please like and share this video. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you next time.